Holy smokes, good morning guys. It is a beautiful day out here for a couple reasons. The weather is like low 60s right now, which compared to a week ago, it was in the hundreds. This is beautiful weather. The second thing is I have my veneer, I got my finish, I got a couple other things that I can go ahead and continue on, so which is great timing. I finished up sanding Sunday, 2 days ago. Stuff I just got. There's my veneer. I got 2 sheets of that. Wasn't as expensive as I was thinking it was going to be, so I got 2 sheets of it. And then everything's sanded to 220, ready to go. And so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put a bunch of finish on the cubby area so I can go ahead and start gluing that back together. And yeah, I'm slapping some veneer on the surface. Okay? Here we go. I cleaned up the garage a little bit so that when I go to put the finish on, it doesn't get any flakes of dust or anything like that on the pieces that I'm putting finish on. Also, before I go to do that, I'm going to go ahead and take some wood glue. I got 2 different kinds. I've used this before. It works pretty well. It's Elmer's Wood Glue Max. And then this one is like a Home Depot one, Type Bond or something like that. Haven't tried it much yet, but we'll see how it does. But I'm going to go ahead and take some of those cubby pieces that split apart. I'm going to go ahead and glue those up before I put finish on. So that's what I'm going to be doing next. So I'm just going to be taking them, setting them next to each other and getting them to seal up as much as possible so that it sticks together. So that's my goal. Finagle with it a little bit, see how it turns out. Told myself, I said, make sure you lift this high enough so the clamps can clear. And I didn't clear it. Now I have a mess to clean up. So, yeah. But now I have broken glass and a mess and re-sanding to do now. So, alright, so back on track, cutting out things for drawers, for other veneer things that I haven't finished yet, gluing things together. I just put the little peg on the top of this arch thing right here. I'm about to go ahead and cut out this part for the opposite side where that goes. And basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy. This is the original one. And I'm just going to lay it out like this. Trace it out with a pencil. Cut it out with my jigsaw there. And then fit it in. See, you know, hopefully it worked really well. I just cut this guy out. I measured it out and it fit in there perfectly. So I'm hoping I can go 2 for 2 and do the same thing with this guy, because that would just make things so much easier. So that's where I'm at. I'm hoping that as soon as that guy dries over there, I can go ahead and cut this guy out, and then I should be ready to go ahead and start putting finish on things, because that guy is the last thing that's drying and it's probably good by now. And that thing I need to sand around the edges to kind of smooth it down to make it flush. Everything else is dry and ready to go. I may need to take the 220 sander to a couple of these things just to make sure it's got the correct smoothness for the finish to go on, because the finish that I got recommends 220 smoothness, and so we'll go ahead and get to that. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. I'm gonna go ahead and move my camera stand back a little bit so you guys have a wider berth of what I'm going to be doing, because right now I'm kind of like panning back and forth, and that's getting annoying to me, as I'm sure it would be to you. So that's what's happening. Alright, I got 2 of them in there. It fits, it's a bit more snug. That'll all be covered up. And so yeah, it'll be a little bit sturdier with those braces right there and the one across the top. Once I get those, put it back on. So yeah. Alright, so I'm getting everything glued back together. As you can see, I used the ratchet straps to kind of close everything back up and get it flush where it needs to be. I'm having a little issue right here with getting that level. I'll come around to the other side. With getting that level, as you guys can see, it's a little bit off, and there's a gap right here. And I'm almost betting that it has something to do with lining this part up, but I'm not sure how, because as you can see, I have it pretty flush with how it originally should have been. So I'm not completely certain as to why that's gapped like that. So maybe I'll add a shim in there or something to kind of level it off. So yeah, but that's where I'm at. I am now going to go ahead and start getting my cubby pieces and my drawers and stuff like that. But all this stuff is ready to go, so I'll go ahead and put some finish on them, and then I'll go do some other stuff while I'm waiting in between coats. So yeah, all right, here we go. Alright, so here's where I'm at. I got all of my stuff laid out on my boards, getting ready to stain. Here's a couple things that I do. So I have my microfiber cloth. Before I put stain on it, I'm just gonna wipe the surface of whatever I'm gonna wipe or apply with. In the past, I've just used like old t-shirts and I cut them up into little squares and I apply it that way. I found this at Home Depot. It's like lamb's wool. Where's the bag? Here's the bag. Lamb's wool stain applicator. That's what it looks like. And it feels so soft. Yes. I think I'll get one just to do this. Anyways, so I got that, and because that's a little bit wider, I decided that I would get a plate and then pour my stain on my plate and then dip that in there to apply my stain. All right, now the stain and polyurethane that I'm going to be using is Minwax Poly Shades, and I am using the 2-in-1 thing. And I went with a pecan satin, so we'll see what that looks like. That's the liquid color. I haven't used this one before, so we'll see how the color looks. So, but yeah, so that's what you'll be seeing me do next. Alright, so here's my current plan of attack. I have put finish on one side of all of this material. And basically the drawers, all of these guys have their first official coat. These guys, the cubby parts, they need to have finish on both sides. And I've only done one side, so what I think I'm going to do is I'll probably come back to it in about an hour, maybe 2 hours, depending on how things are looking. But basically when they're not tacky anymore, they said the first coat should be 6 hours, and I don't want to wait that long before I get both sides covered. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to wait about 2 hours, then I'll flip the cubby spots over, put a coat on them, and then at the 6 hours from now, I'll put the second coat on all of this stuff, and that should be good to go by then. And I don't think that I'm going to do anything with the big pieces yet today, just because I want that glue to really set in, have it really secured before I do anything with it. Because like I said, I gotta do the 220 sanding again with it, just to make sure it's nice and smooth. Also to sand out some of the glue that seeped out the sides. So that is a good thing. I think I'm in a good spot.